Hi again folks, how's all doing? This is the Hornby R2959 Thompson L1 I picked up from the Scottish Festival of Railway Modelling at Breahead Arena in Glasgow. Clearly a used model, but even so, still a bargain at £60 if it's in good condition and running order. An L1 in this livery has been on my radar for a wee while as it's a good fit for my layout, so when I saw this at Breahead at that price I couldn't resist it, even though I'd promised myself not to buy any more locomotives. So let's unbox this and see what's what. So there she is unboxed. We've got a few detail pack items, and at first glance the locomotive appears to be in pretty much perfect condition. Nothing appears to be broken. The couplings are in the detail pack, so it all looks very good. Let's turn on the power and see how it runs. Well, it seems to run fine. There's a slight grinding noise when running forwards and one or two moments of slight hesitation. It's as quiet as a mouse and smooth as you like in reverse, so there may be a wee gear adjustment required or something. Well, let's get her into the shed and off to the new bench. Alrighty-ho, let's get a look at this L1 at my new workbench. It's all a bit weird. It's still quite echoey in here. I'm not quite sure why. I think it's just because there's not as much clutter. Maybe I need to get some more pictures on the walls or something. Let's just stick this on my new test rack just to see how it runs there. Right, just get this on there like that. I've not pinned this track down yet, and I might put some underlay under it just to dampen the noise down a bit. Right. So you can maybe hear it's a little bit grindy going forward, but quiet in reverse. So we'll see if we can solve that. It might just be a lubrication issue. As I said in the layout room, it all seems to be in perfect condition. Nothing broken, nothing missing, apart from the couplings, but they are in this detail pack. There's some pipes and stuff. Somebody's put this pipe on the rear, which I think will interfere with the coupling. So I think we might take that off, and we'll put the vacuum pipe on at some point. It doesn't seem to be sprung, that bogie, which is a bit of a shame. I think it would be better if it was. It's got pickups. I'll just get the endoscope in. So the pickups all look fine, they're all touching the wheels. The sandpipes appear to be rubbing the wheels a little bit. There's pickups on the rear bogie there. So lots of pickup. It's maybe been a wee bitty over-oiled, but I think I've said before I would rather see a model over-oiled than under-oiled. Just looking down under the hood there, you can see the motor, some sort of can motor. But yeah, it's very nice. I do like L1s, V1s, you know, that type of steam locomotive. I've always liked them. I've looked at these a couple of times at exhibitions, both in British Railways and LNER Apple Green. But the times I looked at them before, one had a buffer missing, and another one, it was just too expensive. At least slide back and forward. It's nice. but there was two of these at the stall I looked at, one going for £60 and one going for £68. I couldn't see any difference between the two, so I plumped for this one, 60 quid. So I think I've got a wee bargain here, but I want to know why it's making that slight grinding sound going forwards. If it's making a sound like that in one direction and not the other, it's probably the position of the worm gear. But we'll see. Let's get this opened up. We've got a screw down in there and a screw down in there. Undo that. Being a can motor, there's not going to be much to do here. Just get a look at the gears and undo that screw. That's the two screws out. This should now just lift off, like so. Right. So we've got an 8-pin DCC socket with a blanking plate, big can motor, gearbox will be in there. All looks pretty simple and straightforward. There's a screw at the front there that will loosen this. So let's just do that. It's great being so organised with my tools. Must try and keep it that way, not let it get in a mess. It's so easy to let workplaces get in a mess. I've done it many times with my shed, cleaned it all out, got it all organised, and in a couple of months it's just a disaster area again. But I am not going to let that happen within here, because it just makes everything so much harder when things are a mess. Keep things tidy and everything becomes a lot easier. Especially, working on other people's models, I really can't afford to let it all go to pot again. Right, let's get this tape off so I can loosen these wires. So it's quite good. I've got a new locomotive to look at for my first job at this bench. Because it's not finished yet. I've still got a few things I want to do. I want to, as I say, I want to fix down the track, maybe get some underlay. I need to get some shelving. So there's still a few things to do, and I may move things around a bit, because until you start using the workstation in anger, it's hard to tell if it works or not. Sometimes I might think, oh, that's too far away or whatever. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Right, come on, let's get this out of here. It's kind of trapped by the wires. There we go. So I've got the worm gear, the double or idler gear, and there's a little intermediate gear there that engages with the drive gear. So what's causing the grinding sound? I mean, I'm not hugely concerned about the sound it makes. It's, it's not that bad. And it may go away with running. I'm not sure, if I get some fresh lubrication in there, it may just go away. But there's some reason it's making a slight grinding sound going forwards. Right. See, I'm already realising I've maybe got a slight issue with having the test track set up to my right here, because sometimes I just like to get the model on a piece of track here, so I might still have to do that. So there's maybe no point in having a permanently set up test track. We'll see how it goes. Right, hang on a second. So when the model's going forwards, the gear's kind of pulled up, and when it's going backwards, it's pushed down. So I think what's happening is there's just more friction between the idler gear here and the worm gear when it's going forwards, and that's why you get a slight grinding sound. So in reverse it's like that, going forwards it's like that. So that's really just a quality issue. There's play there in that gear that really shouldn't be there. And there's maybe not much I can do about it, other than get some grease onto the worm gear. Maybe try and minimise the grinding a bit. Will we open up the underframe? Do you know what? I don't think we will. Let's just leave it alone. There's 5 screws there to undo and all the brake pipes. I can't really be bothered. It'll be fine. Let's get some lubrication onto that worm gear. Put some of this on. This is a mixture of lithium grease and gear oil. It's a good sticky grease. It's good for lubricating worm gears with. Just work this grease in. See, that's sounding okay, and that's without the gearbox cover on. That sounds okay. So let's pop this back on. Get that wire back down in that channel. Secured with the tape. There we go. Certainly doesn't need oiling. There's plenty of oil in it. None of the rods are bent or anything, so yeah, it all looks good. Yeah, that's sounding a lot better. Just greasing that worm gear's made all the difference. So there we are, just giving it some grease has got rid of that grinding sound, just a lack of lubrication, so that's good. Right, okay, very nice, yeah, pleased with this, £60, definitely a bargain. Right, pop this on. There we go. Right, we'll stick a coupling on the back to this little bag of pieces. Well, one of the couplings doesn't have a hook. I can stick this one into the name pocket. Like so. And we'll put the vacuum pipe. Where is it? Here it is. We'll put this vacuum pipe on, because the pipe that was there would foul the coupling. Fitting these things can be such a fiddle at times. That'll do it. So there's my new Thompson L1. Very nice, very pleased with it. And that's my first trial run of working at this new workstation. The test track, yeah, it works fine, but It's a little bit of a hassle having to move the camera to let you see what's happening. Ideally, I could set up a second camera, have a test track camera. That would be the best thing to do. But we shall see, we'll figure it all out. Let's go and give this a run on the layout. Okay then, let's bring out the L1. So there we are, that's the latest addition to my fleet, a Hornby R2959 Thompson L1 in British Railways apple green, bought for £60 at Breahead. Initially it was making a bit of a grinding sound going forwards, which was due to the double gear being lifted up hard against the worm gear when running that direction. Just too much play in the gearbox. A spot of grease on the worm gear solved the problem thankfully, and it's a very nice runner now. Working at the new bench setup will take a bit of getting used to, and I'll mess around with it a bit, I'd imagine. But yeah, so much better not to be working in a mess. I shall do a more detailed video on the workstation and all my tools, etc. very soon. Okay folks, I'm going to give my L1 here another run out, and I'll catch you later.